power of our strike lies in our ability to bring the university to a grinding stop. Only by completely disrupting the university operations can we win. Guys, it's your boy Tony.
And AJ. And we are the JordanFellas.
This is Uninformed America.
So sit back, relax,
Grab some snacks, and let's go ahead and explore what's going on inside me. Beyond no borders. AJ, you know what time it is.
Yeah, it's 6:31.
Not wrong, but it's also time for us to understand why there's so many protests in America. Again.
Oh yeah, for those of you wondering, we did a video like this about a year ago.
That's
where we
right.
focused almost exclusively on things such as
The SAG strikes.
Yeah, SAG strikes, writer strikes. Specifically, we delved into things such as inequality and equity.
That's right. But we're going to focus on two other aspects as to why these specific groups are, protesting and striking. And that has to be divest and disclose. Ooh, those are some fancy looking words. Let's go ahead and explore what they are.
Sounds good. So I'll start off with divest.
Alright.
So those of you wondering what divest means, it means to take money out of something. For example, the college students are looking to have the universities divest funds from, say, Lockheed Martin and Boeing, which they are using the college students' tuition money to fund. So now they're trying to say, I want to know where this is going. For those of you wanting to get a more hands-on example of what I'm talking about, when you're playing Minecraft, you're traveling the overworld, cutting down trees, and you have a bunch of materials, you find a village, and you start doing some trading, and then you're like, oh man, good thing my money went nowhere.
I think you're going into disclosing territory. I'll take it from you, alright?
Alright.
So you see, guys, like what AJ say, you give your money to some random villager, okay? But you don't know what that villager is going to be doing with your money that you just gave them.
That's true.
So I don't know, what if they, like where you said, invested in the entire pillager army to attack you? That would be dangerous. That's basically what divesting is.
Yeah, and you want them to disclose exactly what that is. I think that's what Tony was going for, where he is kind of showing us that we want to know if we give villager A some emeralds, that we won't have to deal with pillager B and C, who is trying to end our existence. So for those of you wondering, because we did explain it in a previous video, but I have not done so in this one yet, when we say, colleges and universities are giving their money out, it's kind of important to note that colleges and universities, in the US at least, are corporations. They are companies. So they are able to invest in different other companies. So you're probably wondering, well, they don't make money. The students are their source of income. So when they pay their tuition, that goes to the college. And when the college decides to, move that money somewhere else and invest in something else, then they make money when that company makes money. So for example, if Lockheed Martin creates a bunch of weapons and they start going up in stock, so too does the college or university.
Yes, and that also shows what they're really aligned with. I mean, come on. Imagine if someone gave you $1 million. You would feel more inclined to want to be with that person more often than someone who gave you like $500 one time.
That is true. You would want, if someone gave you money, you would want to trust them a bit more. Think of it like when you're given a bribe in BitLife. You're just giving someone some money when you don't want to get arrested.
You bribe people in BitLife?
Only a few times.
You crook. Should have known.
Sorry for the quick intermission, but I just want to say that only 10% of you guys are subscribed. So go ahead, if you're not already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe right now. Alright, thank you. Let's get back to the video.
About 100 US colleges have reported gifts or contracts from Israel totaling $375 million over the past 2 decades, according to the Department of Education's database. As you can probably guess, That is outrageous and should not be the case. Only further proves that this system is inherently flawed and we need change.
Anyways, of course, another example of disclosing has to be Lightning McQueen. I mean, with Rusty's. Rusty's medicated bumper oil. So you can look like me. Ka-chow!
Yes, as you can see with how Lightning McQueen is the stickers, he's actively disclosing who is sponsoring him, which is something that the colleges and universities are not doing.
Of these unions that are protesting, or I guess striking, I would just call it, has to be the UAW 4811, which stands for United Autos Workers 4811. And that has an outstanding 48,000 graduate students, teacher assistants, tutors, researchers, and of course other academic members. Not only that, they span across 10 different campuses, including Lawrence Berkeley's National Lab.
That is correct. So you're probably wondering how the UCs are trying to handle this. They've done so by filing an injunction with the California Public Employment Board, Relations Board.
I have a question. What does UC mean exactly?
UC is Universities of California.
Oh, okay, that makes much more sense. Like, what the heck does UC mean?
Sorry about that. I should have said it earlier. Yeah, so you're probably wondering why would they do this and how are they trying to justify this? Well, they're using ULP. What does ULP stand for? Unfair Labor Protection.
I see.
Additionally, they've gone on record saying that these strikes are unlawful because they're trying to force the universities to fit into the demands of something that is politically motivated.
The response to the protest is when protests violate university policy or threaten the safety and security of others. The university has taken lawful action to end impersonal dismissal and unlawful behavior.
Which, considering where their funding is going, is pretty suspicious and seems kind of like a double standard if you ask me.
But if you think about it, if you're protesting, that means it's probably going to be political, right?
Yeah, inherently. That's how it kind of works,
Yeah, I mean, no one got anything but just begging and pleading.
Yeah, you do that, you tend not to last very long.
Done. Believes that it is a legal protest, which to be fair to them, it is. I mean, they're just invoking the First Amendment right. However, in response to the ULP, they decided to go ahead and have a permit to permit walkouts. But however, it's kind of like how they did it in the reverse. UC decided to go ahead and do a draw for Universe skip and then draw another 4 on them and say, oh yes, also we have disciplinary guidelines now. Which was a new policy that wasn't even negotiated. Like, where did that even come from? Do you know where it came from?
Not at all.
It just came out of left field.
The UC is saying that allowing the strike to continue is ultimately extremely harmful for both the universities and the students. As we all know, teachers' assistants and aides are extremely important for all universities, especially in the latter part of the semester and year, where they are most important for teaching, grading, and possibly even the most important role they have, doing research for important tasks.
You're absolutely right. AJ, if they're so important, then why aren't the reviews being, accepted?
Sometimes people get ignored when money is involved. And why treat them fairly if there are ways that you can further yourself in your own goals instead of having to deal with them? They are important, yes, but they're not important to you enough that you would treat them as if they were human. That's why they went to another strike previously in 2020, though the reason that one fell apart back in 2022 is because that one was not authorized by the union. They were actually protesting for a greater wage because the cost of living is going up and we are struggling to actively survive to help do our jobs. This ultimately was not long for this world.
I see exactly what you mean. However, what about the students? The admins claim that they care for their students so much, Jewish or non-Jewish. However, when it comes to just allowing them to disclose the money that they were investing, they say that they can't do that. It's a simple task, really. Don't know, academic workers state that their freedom of speech rights were completely violated when police were called to forcibly take down their encampment. Not only that, also when on April 30th, a very dark day, a day that will live in infamy, I may add, when rioters, random people, like random Zionists, went down to UCLA and started attacking the students there.
That is correct.
That is right. But not only that, it took an entire 4 hours for the highway patrol to come over. That's right, you heard me right, the highway patrol, which was called in by Sacramento governor. Not even the police. The police were there, but they were told to stand down. And when it was all said and done, 200 students, and only students, were arrested, and 30 more were injured.
That is correct. If you're interested in finding out more about this subject, we made an entire video about that. The link we found in the description, and we go way more in depth in this subject.
Yep. While you're here, go ahead and like and subscribe.
That'd be great. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers, and with your help, I know we can make it.
Yep.
The UC has made it very clear that they're prioritizing the needs, safety, and anxieties of select Jewish students within the universities over the other students. Yes, they've made this a very clear fact, and in fact, many of those students turn out to actually have been IOF members.
Whoa, wait, wasn't that Dr. Phillip, the special?
Again, if you want to find out more about that, you actually can find it in our previous video.
That's right.
But as a little preview, I would like to let you guys know that a Jewish student is actually teaching many other students how to use Krav Maga in a way to harm the peaceful protesters.
Well, now, Lise, let's go ahead and take a look at the union demands.
That's right.
Alright, so starting off with the one that they really, really want. I'm going to do this in priority, okay? First one being protect free speech on campus. It makes sense, being able to say whatever you want and not being, arrested for it is a pretty good thing to want.
It's also something that by law every American has access to.
Exactly, that would be unconstitutional.
Correct.
Yep. Number 2, amnesty for all academic employees, students, student groups, faculty, staff against all disciplinary actions. Okay.
This is also important. Everyone deserves to have a bit of amnesty,
Yeah. Basically, just give them, make it so what they're saying cannot be, charged because it's true. It's
Yes.
not like they're saying actively awful things and it's not true.
Correct.
Exactly. And number 3, arrest clue to participation in protests. Okay.
So I just want to say, because I didn't notice a kind of parallel here, I thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about. Do you guys remember that movie I, Robot? How they had the 3 laws? You can kind of say this as their kind of 3 demands, which kind of fits in that.
Another demand.
There's another one?
There's another demand.
I
No,
see.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Okay. The last demand has to be divestment. Which includes weapon manufacturers, military contractors, companies that are all profiting from Israel and Palestine conflict.
Okay. But that also is something we could talk about, but I completely ignored that 3 laws comment because there's a 4th law. Yeah, sometimes
Never happened.
sometimes there's one Bill of Awakening, then suddenly there's 2, so.
Here, Men in Black style.
Injunction against the UC strike denied. UC has had many chances to resolve its egregious ULPs, and it has thus far refused to engage. Now, 2 more campuses are walking out, UCLM
in UC Davis, it's time to stand up. In short, the UC's letter is all bark and no bite on its central point. As we move towards this historic strike, there's also a broader moral to this story. Do not take at face value self-serving communications from the UC. Our final quote for this video reads, "There is legal precedent and a path forward for divestment from war across the weapons supply chain. These can only grow stronger if the UAW IEB supports them." Mary Saba, UC Berkeley PhD candidate in geography. Quote from Daily Californian. To end things off, I'm going to tell you guys one more thing what's going on with the situation, such as UCLA Chancellor Jean Block, who actually went before the House of Representatives to testify, but I was engaged by Ilhan Omar. Here's the video for you guys can see it for your convenience.
Was that student actually being blocked from entering campus?
Well, that was in the middle of, excuse me, that was in the middle of campus. No, not being blocked from being on campus, maybe being blocked from a pathway on campus, which he shouldn't be allowed to, he should be allowed to pass. I mean, any part of campus is open to students, so blocking him was really inappropriate.
I appreciate that. The recent images from UCLA are appalling. What is more appalling is that it was completely preventable. You could have prevented this by protecting the diverse groups of pro-Palestinian students that were peacefully gathered on campus to share meals, stand in solidarity against a brutal genocide. You could have prevented this by protecting these students' First Amendment right to assemble. You could have prevented this when you learned about rats being released into the encampment. You could have prevented this when there was an anonymous group funded and constructed, again, a giant video with loudspeakers to play vile and disturbing footage. You could have prevented this when you saw an angry mob on campus on the night of April 30th, but you did not. Instead, you, the UCLA leadership and law enforcement, stood by for hours as the mob of agitators gathered near the encampment with a clear intention to cause violence. And because of your inaction, they acted on the intention and brutally attacked students you were responsible for. This happened in front of your eyes, on your campus, and it was live streamed for the whole world to see. So I would like to know if you are truly committed to keeping your students safe. How did you fail these students at many critical points where you could have intervened?
Thank you for the question, but I'm sorry, but I reject the premise. These students.
How do you reject the premise? Are these pictures lying? Are these pictures, are any of these people in jail?
Can I finish my statement?
No, are any of these people in jail? Are any of these people arrested?
LAPD is working on trying to identify the people who were assailants that evening. We were committed to finding out the people that were involved.
It's been
here.
over a month. I submit for the record an article that the CNN has produced.
Without objection.
All right, so that was why America has so many protests. Hope that you guys enjoyed.
That is correct. If you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like, comment, we would love to hear from you. We are always looking to improve. If you have any recommendations on video topics, leave them down below. We will be sure to read them, and who knows, the next topic might actually come from your comment.
Yep. And now we know why America is protesting. So let's go ahead and leave.
Correct. Jordan